There's a version of you that exists right now, only in possibility, not yet in reality. A stronger version, a more capable version, a version who has already had the difficult conversation you've been avoiding, already started the business you keep thinking about, already built the body, the career, the life you quietly imagine when you let yourself dream, honestly, for a moment. That version of you is real. It's not fantasy. It's simply a future that hasn't happened yet. And here's the uncomfortable truth. The only thing actually standing between you and that version of yourself is your comfort zone. And every single day you choose to stay inside it, that other version of you gets pushed a little further away. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about something that feels safe, familiar, even pleasant in the moment, but is quietly one of the most dangerous forces working against your long-term potential. Your comfort zone. Let's talk honestly about what it actually is, why it feels so good to stay inside it, and exactly how it's stealing far more from you than you probably realize. Let's start by defining this clearly, because I think a lot of people misunderstand what a comfort zone actually is. Your comfort zone isn't simply the physical space you occupy, your home, your daily routine. It's a psychological state, a set of familiar behaviors, thoughts, and situations that your mind has learned to associate with safety. Inside this zone, uncertainty is minimized. Risk feels low. Everything feels predictable, manageable, controlled. And because your brain is wired at a very fundamental level to prioritize safety and avoid unnecessary risk, it constantly pulls you back toward this familiar territory, even when staying there is quietly working against your actual long-term interests. Here's what makes the comfort zone so deceptive. It doesn't feel like it's stealing anything from you while you're inside it. It feels good. It feels safe. It feels, in the moment, like the reasonable, sensible choice. This is exactly why so many people spend years, sometimes entire lifetimes, inside their comfort zone, without ever fully realizing the cost. Because the cost isn't immediate or obvious. It's slow, cumulative, and almost entirely invisible until you eventually look back and see how much time has passed without any real growth to show for it. Let's talk about what your comfort zone is actually costing you. Because once you see it clearly, it becomes much harder to stay comfortably unaware of it. The first cost is skill development. Growth, in any meaningful sense, only happens at the edge of your current ability, in the space just beyond what already feels easy or familiar. This is sometimes described as the learning zone. That uncomfortable stretch just outside your comfort zone, where things feel challenging but not overwhelming. If you never leave your comfort zone, you never enter this learning zone, and without it, your skills, your capabilities, your entire potential simply stay exactly where they currently are, indefinitely. The second cost is opportunity. Almost every meaningful opportunity in life, a better job, a valuable relationship, a life-changing experience, requires some degree of risk, uncertainty, or discomfort to actually access. When you consistently choose comfort over opportunity, you're not just avoiding a single moment of discomfort. You're closing off entire paths your life could have taken. Paths that required you to step outside familiar territory in order to reach them. The third cost, and maybe the most significant one, is your own self-image. Every time you avoid something purely because it feels uncomfortable, you reinforce a quiet internal belief that you're not capable of handling difficulty, uncertainty, or challenge. Over time, this creates a shrinking sense of what you believe yourself to be capable of. Not because your actual potential has changed, but because you've stopped testing its real boundaries, and your self-image has quietly adjusted to match the smaller, safer life you've been living instead. Let's talk about why the comfort zone has such a strong pull on all of us. Because understanding this makes it much easier to consciously work against it. The first reason is that your brain is wired for survival, not for growth. From an evolutionary standpoint, avoiding unnecessary risk kept our ancestors alive. Uncertainty in a genuinely dangerous environment often meant real physical danger. Your brain still carries this same wiring today. Even though most modern discomfort, a difficult conversation, an unfamiliar challenge, a new skill, poses no actual survival threat at all. Your nervous system, however, doesn't always know the difference, and it often responds to psychological discomfort with the same alarm it would use for genuine physical danger. The second reason is that comfort provides immediate relief, while growth provides only delayed reward. Staying inside your comfort zone feels good right now, in this exact moment. Growth, on the other hand, usually requires enduring some discomfort now, in exchange for a benefit that may not become visible for weeks, months, or even years. Given a choice between immediate comfort and delayed reward, the human brain, left unchecked, will almost always default toward the immediate option, even when the delayed option would clearly serve you better in the long run. The third reason is that the comfort zone is reinforced by everyone and everything around you that also prefers you to stay predictable and unchanged. Family, friends, colleagues, even your own past self, often unconsciously prefer the familiar version of you, because change, even positive change, disrupts existing patterns and relationships. This isn't usually malicious, but it does mean that stepping outside your comfort zone often requires pushing against not just your own internal resistance, but sometimes subtle external resistance as well. Now let's talk about how to recognize your comfort zone clearly in your own life, because a lot of people don't fully realize how much of their daily existence is being shaped by it. Ask yourself honestly, when was the last time you did something that made you genuinely nervous in a productive way? Not reckless, not dangerous, simply unfamiliar, uncertain, slightly outside what you're used to. If it's been a long time, That's often a clear sign that you've settled comfortably into a routine that, while safe, may also be quietly limiting your growth. Ask yourself, are there goals or dreams you've had for a long time that you still haven't seriously pursued? Not because they became less important to you, but because pursuing them would require stepping into unfamiliar, uncomfortable territory. This pattern, wanting something clearly, while consistently avoiding the discomfort required to pursue it, is one of the clearest signs of a comfort zone quietly limiting your life. Ask yourself, do you tend to say no to new opportunities primarily because they feel unfamiliar or risky, rather than because you've genuinely evaluated them and decided they're not actually a good fit? If unfamiliarity itself is often the deciding factor in your decisions, that's a strong signal that comfort, rather than genuine judgment, is driving a significant portion of your choices. Now let's talk about how to actually start expanding your comfort zone, deliberately and sustainably, with practical steps you can begin using today. The first step is deliberately seeking out small, manageable discomfort on a regular basis. This doesn't mean making dramatic, overwhelming changes all at once. It means consistently choosing slightly uncomfortable actions. Speaking up in a meeting, trying something new, having a conversation you'd normally avoid on a regular basis, so that discomfort itself becomes a familiar, manageable experience, rather than something you instinctively avoid at all costs. The second step is reframing discomfort as a signal of growth rather than a signal of danger. The next time you feel that familiar pull to retreat back into safety, pause and consciously ask yourself, is this discomfort actually dangerous, or is it simply unfamiliar? In the vast majority of everyday situations, especially ones related to personal or professional growth, the honest answer is that the discomfort is simply unfamiliar, not genuinely dangerous. And recognizing that distinction makes it much easier to move through it deliberately. The third step is starting with what's sometimes called optimal anxiety, choosing challenges that feel stretching but not completely overwhelming. If a challenge feels so far outside your comfort zone that it triggers complete avoidance, it's often more effective to find a smaller, more manageable version of that same challenge first, building your tolerance gradually, rather than attempting an enormous leap all at once and risking complete retreat back into old, familiar patterns. The fourth step is tracking the specific results of stepping outside your comfort zone. Keeping a simple, honest record of what actually happened each time you did something uncomfortable. Over time, this record becomes powerful evidence, in your own words, of exactly how often the discomfort you feared turned out to be manageable, and exactly how often stepping outside your comfort zone actually led to meaningful growth or opportunity, rather than the disaster your mind may have originally predicted. The fifth step is surrounding yourself as much as possible with people who actively pursue growth and challenge themselves regularly. Comfort and discomfort are both, to some degree, contagious. Spending time around people who consistently push their own boundaries makes stepping outside your comfort zone feel more normal, more achievable, and less isolating than attempting this kind of growth entirely on your own. I want you to think, honestly, about the specific areas of your life where you suspect your comfort zone has been quietly limiting you the most. Maybe it's your career, staying in a role you've clearly outgrown. Maybe it's a relationship, avoiding an honest conversation that's been needed for a long time. Maybe it's a personal goal, a dream you've had for years that still hasn't moved beyond the planning stage, because actually pursuing it would require stepping into territory that currently feels too uncertain. Wherever that area is for you, I want you to understand something clearly. The discomfort you're avoiding by staying inside your comfort zone is not protecting you from harm. In almost every practical sense, it's protecting you from growth and quietly costing you access to the exact version of yourself and the exact version of your life that you say you actually want to build. So here's what I want you to do. Identify one specific action today that sits just outside your current comfort zone. Not something reckless or overwhelming, simply something honest. Something that makes you a little nervous in a productive way. And take that action today. Not because it feels comfortable, but because you've decided, clearly and deliberately, that your potential matters more than the temporary safety of staying exactly where you already are. Because your comfort zone will always feel safe. That's exactly what makes it so easy to stay inside indefinitely. But safety and growth have never been the same thing. And the version of you that's waiting on the other side of that discomfort is not going to build itself while you stay comfortably where you are. If this video resonated with you, let me know in the comments. Tell me one thing you're finally stepping outside your comfort zone to do today. I read every comment, and I would genuinely love to hear from you. If you found value in this, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss the next one. Thank you for spending this time with me. Take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next video.